be filming a mods video. I asked a lot about what mods are actually done to the car, so I figured I would make another updated video. I made a video like a year ago covering what was done to the car, but back then it was mostly just exterior stuff, so I haven't really gotten into the engine much, or I didn't really get to the engine much back then. But since then I've actually done some stuff to the engine now, and it's running pretty good. Back then it was on 5 pounds of boost, so definitely a big step up since that. Jeez, I thought they were about to tip that thing. There's an STI behind me. Since I got this car tuned, I have no idea how it compares to other cars, because I've literally been driving it for the past like 3 years with like a busted turbo. So now I actually have real boost, and it's actually running how it should. Even though I'm still in the tuning process right now, I have like 1 or 2 revisions left probably until we're done. But I'm curious how it compares to other STIs and Nvidia X's too. There's so many up here, I'm sure I can find one to race. Like there's literally another one up there with the white wheels. Those are silver. Damn, we got some meaty tires. Never seen louvers on a Subaru. That's kind of cool actually. This guy, I don't know if we're gonna have space. Look at that, Nvidia right there. You can make those look sick for sure, but I do see a lot of them. This spot's always so nice. You just always come up here because you can see the mountains so well, and nobody's ever up here for these trucks. Oh yeah, I wish it was warmer out today though. I'm gonna have to freeze my ass off for this video, but it's alright. Car looks better not in direct sunlight so you can't see all the scratches on it. Alright, so I tried to wash the car yesterday, and I think that since then it's definitely gotten a little bit dirty, but I figured it'll be good enough for the video. The last video I did, which I'll put right here, which is $6,000 in mods on the car. I had literally a cracked turbo, 5 pounds of boost, stock intercooler. I mean, the whole engine was stock except for the turbo pretty much, and intake. So I'll tell you guys what has changed since then, and yeah, so we'll get right into it now. I think I'm going to start with the front of the car and just move around to the back as I go through. So first mod is going to be my grill. It's actually a DIY grill that I bought off of another Forester. So the guy basically just cut the crossbars out of the grill, and then he just put mesh behind it, which I just realized my grill is actually broken. Damn, I didn't even notice that till now. All right, well, I guess I need a new grill now. I didn't even realize my grill was broken like that. Everyone always asks me how I made it, and I have no idea, but I guess I'm gonna have to figure it out now. We're gonna go to my headlights because they actually are the OEM headlights, and I haven't really done much to them, but I did take them apart and I painted the inside of them black, which isn't a whole lot different than stock. But the big thing which made a huge difference is I took the ambers out. Obviously the car is red, and I'll have a lot of like silver and black accents on it, so just having the orange there threw off the entire car in my opinion. I'll put a picture here if you haven't seen it before, but taking those out made a huge difference. And I also put tint on them too, not super dark but enough for it to make a difference and just go with the rest of the car. While we're talking about tint too, my fog lights are actually tinted from, I believe you can get the overlays from jdmfv.com. They have a few different shades on there too. Like I think mine are the lightly smoked one, but I think they have some darker ones, different colors as well too. So depending on where your build is like and what you want to do for it, you can definitely find different colors and shades on there. Moving past the fog lights, we have my lip, which is actually, there's 2 lips there technically. So this is the OEM bumper, but I have an Importology style lip, which you can literally get off of eBay. I don't know how much it was, but those are definitely pretty popular for the SG Foresters, which is my generation. So you can get those, and then they also have a JDM version that's kind of similar to this, but I think it's a little bit cleaner in my opinion, so I might get that in the future if I stay with the OEM bumper. And then there's also an 0607 STI lip beneath it. If you guys saw the video where I talked about why I bought Forester over an STI, I mentioned a lot about how a lot of the STI parts and Brix parts from 02 to 07 will fit in these cars, so a lot of the STI lips will fit in these cars, which is super nice and leaves a lot of room for modification, because obviously there's a lot more parts for those cars versus the Foresters, which I hope will change soon. We need to get more people on board with making aero for these cars. But next up is just something super simple, which is the front plate delete, if you want to even call it that. I don't know exactly what they're called, but nothing special, but it goes with the other black accents on the car in my opinion, and it covers up the holes too, which is nice. And I've never gotten a ticket for no front plate, so I'll probably leave it on there as long as I want to, because I don't see any reason to take it off. But anyway, moving on, we have my tint. People got mad at me in the last video for talking about my tint, but I think it's reasonable to talk about it because it's just one of those things I also get asked about. My windshield is tinted, which is 35%, I believe. It's either 30 or 35, I think it's 35. I have a 5% sunstrip at the top, and my side windows have been in the car since I bought the car, and obviously the tint is messed up right there, but I think it's 25 if I had to guess, or maybe like 20, but it's faded over the past 2 years, so it's really not that dark at all. And then my back window is 15%, so 15, and I think 25 or something like that, and then the windshield's 35 with 5% sunstrip, and that's all the tint that I have on the car. Definitely takes a little bit getting used to driving with windshield tint at night. After you drive it for a little bit, you're kind of used to it, so it's not too bad. And obviously my windows on the side aren't too dark, but I do want to go 5% with those eventually, so I'll let you guys know how that goes. Next up might be my favorite mod, or like top 3 for sure, and that's going to be my black windshield. It's gloss black, and I got it wrapped like a few years ago. And I think that with the windshield tint, it goes so well. It just makes the car look a lot more aggressive. It goes with the other black accents I have on the car. And that was $175 to get wrapped. If you guys are looking to improve the look of your car and not spend very much money, I'd definitely looking to get your roof wrapped. While I'm talking about this too, I also got the roof rails wrapped like a little bit later. I think it was like a few months ago. And those used to be silver. I can put a picture here on how much of a difference that made, because it was just one of those things, kind of like the ambers in the headlights, where it's just throwing off the look of the car in my opinion, just the whole color combo going on. So getting those wrapped made a huge difference. So now getting to some of the main parts of the build, which are, I have Isc Coilovers. So I don't know how much lower the car is from stock to gas that too, but I mean, you can kind of guess just based on these pictures that I have right here. I do kind of want to get stiffer springs or something though, because the car does rub in the back, or I could raise the car too, but I don't know, I kind of like the look of it being lowered, and once I get the front lowered too, I think it'll look a lot better. But for now, I can handle it. It's not too bad, just rubbing a little bit here and there. And with that, I also have Isc 25mm adapters. So those are 5x100 to 5x114.3. In my opinion, there's more choices and better choices for the 114.3 bolt pattern, but there's definitely good options for either. But also, just in order to have the fitment that I want, I need those adapters, unless if I get wider wheels, but I don't want to go a whole lot wider right now, so we'll see if that changes. But for now, I'm good with my current specs. Those wheels that I have are Cosmos XT006R, and they are the gunmetal with the machined lip. I think it's just what they call it, but it's like a chrome lip pretty much. And they are 18x11 plus 8. These are the biggest spec I believe that Cosmos makes in terms of width. I don't think they go any wider than 11, which is I think pretty rare anyway for wheels that aren't like 2-piece or 3-piece. So 18x11 by 8 or plus 8 is what those are. I feel like I've just been staying in the same spot the whole time, so I'm gonna start walking around now. But my tires, which are next, are 275 4018s, and they're the Federal SS 595 all seasons. I think is what they are. I kind of want to go a different sidewall next time, or a whole different size actually, because these kind of suck to turn in the front. I've already had to shave a good amount of my bumper and the flares too actually in order to get them to work. So I think that I might go with a like 285 3018. It's like a smaller sidewall and a little bit of a bigger width, and we'll just see how that goes. Obviously I'm gonna do some research and see what makes sense. I'm hoping with the 285 30 we'll have a little bit less stretch and I can go a little bit lower. I do actually want to camber the front tires a little bit because I have 2 degrees, like 2.5 degrees. I think if I can get the front to be like 2 degrees, I can bring it inside the fender flare right there and get it looking a lot better. For now it's not too bad, and I'm okay with it because it's winter time, so probably to get some snow, and I'm not trying to have the car be stupid low in the front for that. Next up we have my flares, which are meant for bug eye actually. They are the ABW Motorsport 60mm bug eye flares. These fit pretty well already, but you have to do some trimming around the gas tank and just overall, I mean, I guess you probably don't have to do a whole lot of trimming on the rest of the flare, but I did because of the massive tires. So the main thing is just a gas tank for these, and you can make them work pretty well. There actually are a lot of nice flares and wide bodies for Foresters out right now, but I got a deal on these from a buddy who already put them on his Forester, so I figured I'd just buy these and make them work on my car. And yeah, I actually like the look of them a lot. There is a front piece that goes down to the lip right there, but I think I like the look of it better without, because I like being able to see the front of the tires when you're looking at the car head on. I think it makes it look a lot more aggressive, and I'll probably leave it like that forever until I get new flares or something like that. But I just like the look of having no flare covering the tire in the front. All right, so moving on to the back of the car now, we have the spoiler, which I normally wouldn't talk about, but because I did add to the car myself after I bought it, and I get asked about it too, it is OEM spoiler. I just bought it off of some guy who had a black Forester. And then we have my diffuser too, which I wasn't really going to talk about because it's kind of in a rough shape right now and I really need to get a new one, but my buddy made it for me like literally 3 years ago, and I've had it on there ever since, just because, I don't know, it's not a very great diffuser. Like, I know it looked really bad when I walked past it right there, but from a distance it looks okay, and it goes with the side skirts too. But I don't know, I'm not super proud of that one right now. I need to get a new diffuser, and I'm gonna see if I can work something out for that in the next few months. I know a lot of you have asked me where I got the diffuser, but I think that I want to first talk to some other companies and figure out who can actually make one for Foresters, and just see if I can get them on board. So hopefully this summer I can get some company making diffusers for Foresters and just get something going for that, because obviously there's none in the market. So stay up to date on my Instagram for that, and I'll see if I can get something going for that and just get some company on board with making Forester diffusers. So I'll be posting on Instagram any updates on that, and hopefully by the summer we can have diffusers for Foresters. So moving on, we have, actually I guess everything for the exterior. One other quick thing before I move on to the engine. The rear bumper is OEM bumper too, but I painted the bottom of it black, so just thought I'd mention that because I got asked about that too. And on the last video I stood super far away from the engine bay because there's nothing in here except for a busted turbo pretty much and an intake. But now it looks a little bit different just because we got the intercooler on there. Obviously it's still super dirty, but that's not what matters. The main thing is what's actually done to it. So we're gonna get right into it with the STI intercooler, which is from an 05 STI. Like I was saying earlier, so many STI parts fit in these cars, which is why I think this is one of the most underrated cars you can buy. Like, you literally can bolt almost any STI part in the engine bay, from like a Blabai or Hawkeye STI. Actually, newer than that too. Like the newer STIs too, you can put parts on these cars as well. So now I've seen people put like 2013 STI intercoolers on here, like 2018 STI intercoolers on here. So you can do a lot with the engines on these cars just because of all the options for the STI parts to go on them. So next up I have an STI Turbo 2, which is a VF48. I had a VF39 before and it cracked, and I know they're really similar, the VF48 and the VF39. I don't know the exact differences, but I know they're both really popular in the Foresters, but I think the VF48 is a little bit more popular. For now, it's doing really well. I might go bigger turbo in the future, but for now, I'm fine with the VF48. Next up, I have an APS intake with a Akn Filter. Sounds awesome, and I definitely recommend it to anyone who's looking to get an intake for their Forester. Then we have my Cobb 3-port EVCS, which you can't see, but it's behind there. I did that recently, and that also made a huge difference in the performance. But I think that's about it for right here. It's not a whole lot, but we have the STI intercooler with the VF48 turbo, the Cobb 3-port EVCS, APS intake, Akn filter. I think that's it for right there. And then I have an Nvidia catless downpipe, which is 3 inches all the way back. My whole entire exhaust is 3 inches. A Turbo XS catless mid pipe, and a Spec D muffler. So kind of cheaped on the muffler, but I want to get probably an Nvidia and one exhaust in the future, like a catback or a Turbo XS. Right now my issue is just how much the car drones, so I was thinking about getting a resonator in the exhaust, but I think I'd rather just get the exhaust I actually want. It's like a different muffler, but probably just a whole new catback, and then put a resonator in it if it's too loud. So we'll see, but for now that's my current exhaust setup, and it works well for me. I wasn't going to talk about any stickers, but I want to mention something real quick about my Instagram sticker. Is that about 6 months ago someone hit my car and they drove off, and some guy saw it happen. Actually, a couple people saw it happen, and the reason that I was able to find the person that hit the car and get their insurance money and all that was because of my Instagram stickers. If you guys think about getting one or like taking yours off, then I don't know, think about it twice, because definitely not a bad idea to have one of those on there just for reasons like that. I want to mention one last thing too that I forgot, is that the side skirts are meant for the rear X or STI also. All you have to do is trim them down a little bit and you can get them to work on any Forester from this generation. I don't know about other generations, but for the SGs you can literally just trim them down a little bit and make them work. The interior is nothing special. It's pretty dirty right now. I'm gonna shut the door because it's freezing outside. I've been freezing for the past 30 minutes. But pretty simple. I have an access port, which was like $750, but I got mine used for like $550 or $600 or something like that. If I could go back in time, I definitely would have gotten an access port sooner, because I spent a lot of money on the exterior of this car before getting into the engine. So actually the only other thing in here is just my shift knob, which is an STI shift knob. And I have a 5-speed still currently. I might get a 6-speed in the future, but it's not super cheap and not a good deal for me right now. It's just my daily driver, so I don't really care to get a 6-speed yet, or like spend that much money on it yet. until I get a second car. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I actually enjoyed making it too, and I've been wanting to make a video like this for a while because the last one was kind of outdated. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like. It would mean a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Forester, just other car stuff in general. Now that I got this new camera, I'm gonna start putting out content more often because it's a lot easier to record, and I just want to put out more stuff now that I have at least a better camera to film with. But that's gonna be it for this video, so thank you guys for watching once again, and I'll see you next time.